Welcome to the Mammoth Plumber Podcast. We're doing a Q&A session with Kyrillos today, so stay tuned because I'm going to answer a whole bunch of questions rapid fire. Let's go.
It's the Mammoth Plumber Podcast with Tyler Williams, the marketing man.
Today we have guerrilla marketing to talk about.
Ooh, okay. Lay it on me. What's the guerrilla marketing question?
All right. So, is it useful?
Yes. So there's a problem. I'm going to back this up a little bit because why is guerrilla marketing useful? Guerrilla marketing is useful, especially when people first start out, because they don't have revenue. And so what is the trade with that? Guerrilla marketing takes time and energy, where advertising takes budget. And so usually when people are first starting out, like there's a whole bunch of guerrilla marketing tactics that they can employ. And we can go over some of those, but like those tactics are all about getting eyeballs, getting familiarity, getting credibility into the market. My biggest complaint is people have a tendency to really severely underestimate how much energy and how much they need to do to actually move the needle. That was my phone telling me to take my medication, which I already did. So anyway, we're just going to keep going. So anyway, the guerrilla marketing is like I said, it's underutilized. Really on both fronts. It's underutilized by the companies that have revenue, and it's underutilized by the companies who don't have revenue and they're trying to get revenue. So if you've ever seen somebody in the market who just seemed to explode really, really fast, and they didn't have a lot of resources at the beginning, a lot of times it's because they're good at the guerrilla marketing side. So I think it's almost necessary when you first start. And then what that does, it helps trickling in jobs. And then your word of mouth starts to spread. And eventually you get to the point where, okay, now you're getting some jobs with some regularity and you need to actively market with the revenue that you have. And a lot of people make the mistake of not looking at the revenue as like a way to feed the marketing. So put a percentage aside is the way we like to counsel people. Typically, if you're brand new, about 10% maybe of your revenue, and it does depend on competition and other factors. But then that becomes how you can stair step your way from guerrilla marketing into advertising, but you don't stop the guerrilla marketing just because you're advertising. Like you need to keep going because you're training people on the guerrilla marketing side to see you in those ways. And they're very tangible. They're very actionable, like because they're physical typically. Whereas digital, you are skipped so easily that people have a tendency to like, just like you have to hit digital so much more frequently than you do with guerrilla, but both you got to hit a lot. So anyway.
And physical, like doing physical marketing in general, I feel becomes way more amplified when you've done some digital first. Then it becomes really, really powerful. But so, and you were talking about like ways and types of guerrilla marketing that you can do when you're starting off, because like money isn't your biggest asset. So what are the ways, if you can break down a few of the ways that you think are the most effective when it comes to guerrilla marketing that a plumbing company in their beginning phases can do?
So first thing that comes to mind, like you got to have all your foundational stuff done. Like you've got to have your business name, your business paperwork, your license, all that stuff. Then you're going to have your Google business listing and maybe a website. So then you're findable, right? Get all your social accounts, Facebook, Google, things like that, or Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, things like that. Then you start going, okay, now if somebody is looking for me, they can find me. That's the first step. You have to be findable. Then you start like driving traffic to those findable spots. So easy one. And we have a client who started this way. He hit up Costco parking lots, and I think there's some legality in some states and maybe just with Costco and their parking lots. But basically you go to parking lots and you drop a door hanger on the door. A lot of people have also done windshield flyers, but here's the problem with windshield flyers. people don't see it until it's an inconvenience, because they hop in their car, they got all their groceries loaded, and then they're starting to drive, and then they're like, what is flapping in my face, right? Whereas if you have a little hook door hanger, or even a card that you've hole punched and you've taken a rubber band or a small piece of string to tie it or hook it somehow without damaging paint on a car, to the door handle of the driver, that's when they're going to interface with it. But you don't want to tie it tight. You want to make sure they can just grab it and hop in their car. Like, if you become an inconvenience with your guerrilla marketing, you become annoying. And that is like, there's times to be annoying. Just ask any used car salesman in the US. But I wouldn't recommend it as like your first run at trying to get a customer to go into their home, right? So that is something you can do, but you do need to research like what are the rules and understand whether or not you want to break or bend the rules, because everybody's got a tolerance for that in different spots. So, but this client of ours did this, and he got like a $5,000 job on his first day of doing it. But the other thing he did is he chatted people up. So he was putting these things out, but while he was there, he was also just interacting with people. And that's another big component of it, is you have to do more than be the passive marketer. Like, you got to show up and you got to be like, hey, this is what I do. What do you do? Who are you? Right? You got to be the curious about your market and go in, and that helps a lot. Because those impressions get way deeper. So that's one thing. Another, and this is kind of guerrilla marketing, and it dovetails with digital, is when you are starting out, go into your Facebook neighborhood groups. So your service area has a bunch of neighborhoods. Go and join those Facebook groups for those neighborhoods. Inside there, what you want to do is, using your personal account, you want to go in and interact with these posts. And like, anything that you can interact with, anything that turns you into a community player is going to be good. Then when you actually see something about plumbing, and you can search these groups, so you can like just make it a point of like, okay, every Monday I'm going to go in and I'm going to search drain, clog, plumbing, like anything that's ancillarily related to what you do. You can go in and you can be the person with good advice. And then people are going to be asking. And when you leave your comments of good advice, because you got to be a helper before you're a salesman, then what you got to do is you say, hey, if you have any more questions, I happen to be a plumber, just DM me if you need any help. And then you open up the DM channel, because usually you can't just DM anyone on Facebook because it's too rife with spam. So, but if they DM you, you have the choice of interacting with them. And then it opens the communication channel. Now you're there in Facebook Messenger talking to them. The other thing you can do is, in order to set yourself up for success with that, be posting on your business Facebook and share it to your personal Facebook. And then that way, when they go and scope you out, they're going to see, oh, he's not just a guy who knows something about plumber. He's a full-on plumber. Let me go and talk to him. Right. And it's tiny cuts over and over and over again. And this kind of consistency that starts to build this greater awareness. So imagine you do that on Monday mornings, and then on Wednesday afternoons, you've got time to go out into parking lots in town, right? A lot of people will be like, well, I put up a bunch of flyers, and I do like flyers, but keep those flyers around your service areas, like your primary points, and go, and you want to hit up coffee shops. You want to hit up any sort of community event places. You want to hit up the grocery stores where you can put a thing with a little tear off coupon of, X amount off for new customers and things like that. Those are all guerrilla marketing tactics. Stunts are also another thing you can do. Like, show up at a baseball game and give out water, right? If it's a hot summer day, try and alleviate someone else's pain for free with your plumbing van and your logo. And guess what? People take notice and they start to like you for it, because you've proved a solution. So there's a ton of them. There's actually a book called Guerrilla Marketing that's really good, and it goes over a lot of like the philosophy and like why you do it. Highly recommend that people read that too.
Okay. And when it comes to like engaging in community in the community and like local community events like trade shows, sponsorships, luncheons, like what should a plumber do in one of those? like events?
So it's going to depend on the event. Like, so here's one that I really have a problem with. I went and ran a fun run with my son. It was a 5K 3-mile fun run. My time is not important. We're not going to go over that. But basically, they give you a shirt. Okay, it was like a purple shirt with the Fun Run logo on the front and a bunch of logos on the back. Almost every community has this. And I looked at the back and I was like, look at all these sponsors. They collected money or resources from all of these sponsors in order to get their logo on the back. And the problem is you're part of logo soup, because now you're one of 10 to 20 other logos on the back of a shirt, and only the title sponsor, the biggest one, is the one that you really might remember, right? So to me, I'm like, well, logo on the back of the shirt isn't necessarily your leverage. And if you're looking for leverage in a community, go to that event and be a part of it. So this fun run was another example of where if they had halfway through the run at like mile 1.5 had set up a water table with a banner and gave out cups of water to people from a cooler, I would have been thrilled. And you know what? Someone did, but it wasn't a sponsor. It was just a family. And I was like, this should be business should be the ones fulfilling this gap in the market. That's where capitalism actually does its job. Instead, none of those sponsors had taken up that responsibility, and they ended up leaving it to the attendees and the families of the community instead. And I'm like, that's disappointing. Like, get involved, right? If you sponsor something, show up, because it helps everyone. And if you help, they'll come to you when they have a problem. So that's like for sponsorships and community engagement on events. Throw your own is another thing. So in my town, Fairbanks, Alaska, here, we threw a film festival for kids. Because we're a media company, right? So I was like, I love making movies. I love making shorts. Let's just do this for the community, but let's open it up for elementary school and high schoolers. And it was like, shoot it with your phone. And we hosted a screening at one of the local high schools that had a theater. And we got tons of contestants. I went around to the school district and other community businesses, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. Can you cut us a check so then we can afford the advertising and other things? Like, my crew put a lot of manual labor into it, as well as we made all the media for it. We put all this thing on, but we needed the resources of other businesses to say, here's $250, here's $500 or whatever. We built their logo soup, and none of the sponsors showed up, but we did. And so, and what that allowed us to do, though, is because this was still a mammoth event, right? This was our event. It gave us something to talk to the community about multiple times. So we got to say, hey, we need entries. Here's the rules. We got to do workshops. Here's how you shoot on your phone. Here's how you do this stuff. Then we got to hype up the week before. We got our entries in. We got some bangers inside of our film festival. You've got to see this. You're going to have a whole bunch of fun. Come on here. It's a free event. Bring the whole family. And then we did a live voting. And then after it, we also got to drip feed these posts, these things out into the community. Like, hey, here was our first place. Here was our second place. Here was our third place. Here was the best special effects. Here was the funniest, right? And it gave us something to say that the community cared about. I would love to see a plumbing company do this. It was a ton of work, but it really, suddenly we were the marketers in town. And this is before we really narrowed our focus into plumbers nationwide, right? But for any business, we became, oh yeah, you're the marketing crew, right? And I became the local marketer. But that's when people are talking about 15 miles of fame or 5 Mile Famous, right? Both of those terms you've probably heard. That's how it's built. It's not built only with advertising, because if you have something to advertise that people care about, suddenly it hits so much harder. So, and we were able to advertise our event, ourselves, and all these other businesses together. It was a co-promotion. So that's another way that you can really get involved. So it takes a little bit of imagination and logistics.
Yeah, and sometimes it also like when plumbing companies do or like plumbing company owners do attend those events. And I was talking to a plumber the other day, and he was like, what should I do in a plumbing in that event? Like, how can I push my name out?" And I was like, "Do you have someone ready with a camera, shoot a few photos of you, of your crew, people that are wearing your uniforms, like in that event?" So can you talk to us a little bit about like how to document your event in a way that will make sense for the marketing later on? And I was like, yeah, get some people from the community in a photo with with you in a photo, so that.
So, I mean, okay. So if I were a plumbing company and I did a similar thing, right?
Yeah.
If I threw an event for kids, because if you go after the kids, you get the parents. The parents are the homeowners. Yes. So, I would have some swag that stays in the home, things that are reusable, calendar magnets, things that can go on the refrigerator. Little notepads will last a while. Things that aren't just like one and dones for swag. We didn't have that at this time, right? And all these things take some money, so it's like depending on where you're at, you're going to be able to do more or less, but you got to start somewhere. But now as far as documentation, like actually like turning this into a social media frenzy, we had the luxury of being able to post pictures of the crew screening, like with a laptop right in front of somebody. You couldn't see what was on screen, but we were able to build the hype by saying like, we just watched the funniest entry yet. We can't wait for you to see this. And we want to know, because we think this would be a winner for the comedy. Right. Yeah. And so like stuff like that. And then it's my crew huddled around a laptop. And so what does that do? It comes out of the Mammoth Marketing Facebook page. It goes into the community, and we're boosting it. We're promoting our brand along with this event. We're trying to gain interest. And so it gives us something to say that's not like, hey, business owners, please come to us. Because ultimately what ended up happening is we became the chatter of the town. And even though my business serves businesses, I still got a huge lift in notoriety because we were active and everybody was talking about this thing. Now, plumbing companies have even a greater through point. If it's your crew doing something, right, you're going straight to the homeowner when you advertise these things because it's the parent. Right. I had to like filter down even further for business owners within the parental group, which they exist. But for a plumbing company, it's a much more one-to-one with that market, like for you guys. So like, it's like, I really think that there's like the sky's the limit with this kind of stuff. So, so you hype it up, like, and it's a lot of like photos and video. The other thing that we did was we would take video. I would explain some filmmaking concepts and cast those out in front of the event as well, in order to say like, hey, so when you're shooting dialogue, do this, right? And it was just helpful tips. So that way people knew, okay, this is the thing. We also did a filmmaking class at the local community college because it was tied into a high school thing. And so I was able to advertise that at the time. Hey, the film festival presented by Mammoth Marketing, and with these sponsors, we're going to do a filmmaking class. We'd love for you to attend. It's going to be free. This is so that way when you build your Mammoth film, you can actively, like, you can build it with style. We're going to teach you all the tips and tricks, right? And so like this was even though I'm talking about a film festival, which really works well for a marketing company because we deal with this stuff all the time. I do not see why a plumbing company couldn't also do the exact same thing. Like if you got film buffs on your crew, sure, go for it. So then you can go live during the event, which we didn't do at this one. But if you guys are sponsoring anything, go live. What's cool about things being live is people get notified if they follow you. But it also is human. Like suddenly you're there, like watching this thing go on, right? And so try and be a media proponent of whatever you're trying to do. So because you want to funnel people into this thing, and you don't want to be like, hey, come on by, we love homeowners. No, we love our community and we want this event to be a success. So come on by, and because we want to see more people in this, right? And then you're championing something for people, and people get to connect with that in a big way. And so I think the other thing is, if you're doing something annually, you can do a recap, like a postmortem. Like you could have a week's worth of posts about like, oh man, it was really cool to see little Timmy cross the finish line. Oh, we got over 100 submissions on our film festival, right? And we had such a ball. We went through this much popcorn. We did this, we did that. Like it was so cool to see people come out and be a part of this thing. Here's the prize, and we were super happy to give it away. For our film festival, we gave away a golden mammoth. We took a mammoth figurine, we spray painted it gold and put it on it. We glued it to a film can.
Yeah,
out that was the award. So it was all very much how, because we didn't know how much community support we would get, so we really did try and do it as cheap but as elegant as possible. So there's a lot of like, I don't want to say smoke and mirrors, but it was a lot of like care put into little details to make them feel bigger than they were.
Yep.
So
and one last thing was that I think we're hitting the 21-minute mark here. Is one question I'd like to, I think that would be my last one for you, would be if you were a plumbing company in the beginning and you had one form of guerrilla marketing you could do, what would be your favorite form of guerrilla marketing?
People aren't gonna like it because it's the steady Eddie. It's the one that works, which is I would get door knockers and I would knock on doors. Every time I did a job, I would go up the street 5 houses. I would go down the street 5 houses, and then I would make sure I got the houses on the opposite side.
Yep.
And if I were a plumbing, if it were just me, that's what I would do. All right. Hey, I'm down the street with your neighbor. Just wanted to introduce myself since I really like this neighborhood and I'd love to serve more people in it. Here's a door knocker. You can see it has like X percentage off for your first service with me. Like I'll be the one doing it. And I promise you, I'll give you a 5-star service, right? Like you make the promise, you set the stage, and you get in front of people. Then, okay, that's if it were just me. And if it were me and a CSR in the company, CSR, you're going to do your job from the van. You're going to ride along with me because I want you to canvass these neighborhoods. Hey, my boss, Bob or Tyler, right, is down the road doing a water heater replacement. And we know a lot of these houses are old. If your water heater is roughly the same age, you might need something. So here's a little coupon. Just wanted to introduce ourselves. Like we're Mammoth Plumbing or whatever, right? But it's that activity of being there, being present, and being a physical force on top of like this push of information. If somebody doesn't answer the door, you put that door knocker on, and then it's there for when they get home, right? So that's if I had one thing to do, that would be it. And I would what I tell people all the time is like, if you don't have jobs on the books, you have time for marketing. This is when guerrilla marketing is its best play. And so then on top of it, as I was doing it, photos of yourself doing it, talking about why you're doing it, talking about what you see in this neighborhood, problems that these homes have, problems that you can fix, how many steps you put into your campaign today, right? People like to cheer for the underdog. And even if you're a one-man show, you can be that underdog, right? So like turn everything you do into a media opportunity. It exists. And over time, very slow amount of time, people will start to pay attention. And then you become a tour de force that way. You put 3 years in and never taking your foot off the gas of that. You'll grow, and by the end of that 3 years, you will definitely already have been deep in advertising because you have enough revenue for it. And they stack real nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The compound effect.
You got it. All right. We should wrap it up. That's our 25 minutes of Q&A today. So keep tuned to the Man Plumber podcast. Follow us on YouTube. That's where I really want to build an audience. But listen to us, look out for us, because Kyrillos has more questions. We're going to do more of these. So that way we're addressing the questions that he gets in consults and what I see as far as the marketing space, because that's always moving and grooving as well. So hope you had a good one. We'll see you next time.
Let me tell you the tale of Tyler Williams, the marketing man. Born beneath the northern glow, through icy winds and endless snow, one dark night, disaster came, a plumbing failure, a world in shame. Searching online, no ads in sight, no plumber answered in the endless night. The pipes burst wide, the earth gave way, his home was gone, his mother lost. With fists clenched tight to the frozen sky, Tyler made a vow, a marketing cry. Plumbers shall rise, their name shall stand, I will forge their fate with my own hand. Plumbers shall rise, their name shall stand, I will forge their fate with my own hand. Tyler Williams, the marketing man, with cosmic power he built the plan. Fire in his eyes, campaigns in his hand, he builds lost plumbers across the land. From frozen wastes to city skies, plumbers thrive where legends rise. Alone through ice and stone, the Alaskan wilds became his home. He fought off bears with furious might and carved a shelter through the night. But cold winds whispered, his breath ran thin, he stumbled weak, his strength grew dim. Then through the storm a shadow tall, a mighty mammoth, a titan's call. I am Mark, the marketing mammoth. Tyler, your time has come. I will teach you the cosmic secrets of persuasion and advertising, ancient marketing magic lost to time. Through my wisdom you shall rise, and the world will always find a plumber in their time of need. Tyler Williams, the marketing man, born of the wild with a mammoth plan. He bends the stars, he shakes the sky. For plumbers lost, he lifts them high. With words like thunder, ads like fire, he turns their dreams into empires. No more shadows, no more doubt. With mammoth power, he pulls mills out. For 35 years through frost and fate, he studied with Mark, making marketing great. He grew 10 feet, his beard turned wild. With mammoth wisdom, no longer a child. His eyes burned green with northern light, his voice could shake the stars at night. Then Mark the mammoth raised his head, and to his pupil this is what he said. Tyler, you have mastered the ancient ways, the lost art of persuasion, the magic of marketing. Your time is now, the world is waiting. Plumbers live in darkness, but you shall be their light. Go forth, fly to their shops, make them known across the cosmos. Mark raised his tusks and split the sky. A portal opened, a world passed by. Through time, through space, a rift was torn, and Tyler Williams was reborn as the mythical, fabled, magical marketing man. He flies from shop to shop, lifting plumbers to the top. Through mammoth power, through ads so bright, he brings their business into the light. That was the tale of Tyler Williams, the marketing man.